Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. We'll talk about the. Oh, you know what? We'll talk about the nerve because you know what? I had to use this today. I use it every day. This stuff is amazing too, and I've used that when he's talking about like how he said I brought out a ton of stuff. I brought out every CBD cream to him, every rub. He didn't even really look at it because he's like, okay,
it was like
because
a mini store.
I mean, literally like a mini store of like CBD. I mean, really just like I had a plethora. But so what I love about this is one, I love menthol. Like I love the smell, and it's not super strong to where you're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe. But I love it because for me, it helps even open up. Like so my chest, like I do a lot of working out with my shoulders and I tighten up right here. And so I put it on my chest and it really helps. Not only did it help, but I mean, the pain went away, but it also I could breathe. And when you're struggling to breathe because you're already tight, that it really helped a lot. And it's almost like the mind, right? The euphoric of like, okay, I'm good, I can breathe. It's like but there's also glutathione in it. There's I love the aloe vera in it. Like I love all the stuff that he had, and the turmeric. But I love it because it worked. And again, I mean, you obviously know I love products to try. I'm going to tell you about them, but I can't. I mean, honestly, I love it, and it does. And the scent doesn't stay with you, which is kind of cool. Like sometimes you put that Bengay or whatever it is on, and you're like. People can smell you a mile away. Not only can they smell you a mile away, but you smell like that all day long. You don't smell like this all day long.
Yeah. This is it was the first product that we actually developed after kind of the gum kind of happened accidentally, but and the really unique thing about that is there's a lot of topical creams that are out there that are CBD based or pain relief based, right? Again, let's take a look at the philosophies. So I actually formulated Nerve with the help of an individual named Greg Roskoff. And Greg Roskoff is the creator of a therapy called muscle activation techniques. Mm-hmm. He's really famous recently because he was always famous, but recently there's this golfer, Bryson DeChambeau, and he's like the human performance specialist of Bryson, and he's had all this great success. But really where his success is that he's developed a therapy that focuses on healing of nerve and nerve tissue. Because if you look at any type of trauma, the area that is most vulnerable to that trauma, we always think is the muscle or the joint or whatever, right? It's actually the nerve and the nerve tissue.
Oh, that makes sense.
Because you have to remember is that there's nerves and nerve tissue that's all going through muscles for that muscle to activate. It's the rebarb of muscle, right? Yeah. If you stripped off all of the nerves in muscle, it wouldn't be able to work. There's no electricity, there's no conductivity through that, right? The old, the experiment with, the frog legs that you did in science, you would hook it up and they would twitch. Well, that's because electricity would, go through these muscles and that's how they would be activated. Well, whenever there's any type of injury, whether it be in an immediate trauma, such as a forced trauma, or that you have exercised and you've overtrained that muscle, and that inflammation, that acidity, that toxicity, it's going to start breaking down that nerve and that nerve tissue. Well, when that nerve and nerve tissue gets broken down, you essentially get a retraction of that nerve, which then causes you to have less muscle capacity to do the same amount of work. You continue to keep doing that work, which then creates a higher degree of inflammation because there's less muscle to do that same work, which then that inflammation creates waste product. And that waste product is element of toxicity. So you need to make sure that you produce some sort of element of detoxification. So understanding that philosophy, that's how Nerve was developed. So Nerve has 12 different essential oils. It has, 4 different plant extracts. It has glutathione. It has 63 vitamins and minerals, but it doesn't have those ingredients because those ingredients are cool and awesome. Glutathione's turmeric is because I'm trying to focus. Oh, that's actually the nods.
No, it's fine.
I don't know if it's in there or not. Sorry. It's
in
a little bottle. It's right. But that's why the product helps individuals everything from having nerve issues such as sciatica sciatica and impingement of nerve and such, all the way to individuals. I mean, our product is being used at these really prominent cancer centers for individuals that are with post-chemotherapy burns and discolorations because of skin health and restoring skin health. Why? Because I'm focusing on nerve and nerve health, inflammation of the muscle and joint, and promoting detoxification through promoting circulation. So when you promote circulation, you improve and restore skin health. See, that's the really kind of awesome thing about nerve.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm so grateful that you collaborated on that, or elaborated, not collaborated, because we're collaborating.
We're collaborating. You're elaborating.
Because it really, like, now it makes it more sense, like, that it goes directly even down to the nerve. So you're not only just putting it on so that it can make the, help the pain go away, but it's also repairing it.
Making pain go away, it's easy. See, here's the thing. This is why those products that you mentioned, like Bengay and such, or those high menthol products, menthol is used not as a healing element. It's used as an experience element. So menthol will then confuse the nerve because it's cooling the nerve when, inflammation is also heat and pain and such, and therefore tricking the nerve that there is nothing going on here. Okay, right? So therefore there's no signaling through that nerve, which then, remember, pain is in your head. Pain's not an actual thing. Pain is in your head, okay, right? So therefore you're like, oh, I guess my pain has gone away. So you think, oh, I'm getting relief, I'm getting recovery. And you even extend that out to thinking, oh, I'm getting healing. No. You may be getting relief, but you're not getting healing. So I only use menthol because, yes, I need to produce some sort of experience for you, but I could care less about your experience. I care more about your healing.
Right.
That's why all of the different nutrients are in there, because it doesn't, like I said, taking away pain, any idiot could do that. Just load up your product with menthol, right? And so that's why, it has a certain amount to produce that experience, but I'm not going to let it last because it doesn't need to last. And like you mentioned, which was actually one of the reasons why we had a certain type of menthol that dissipates very quickly, is because nobody wants to smell like a gym locker. Nobody wants to feel oily and greasy. A lot of these other products, they use certain types of oils as their base, and they'll even go natural with coconut butter or shea butter, which I use, but I don't use it as my primary base. I actually use aloe vera juice. Because if you do use those butters and you do have essential oils, those essential oils are going to get trapped in the butter. So see, this is the type of kind of, science that's been put into just the product, that is, I'm great that people are like, oh my gosh, I take it and it provides me such great relief. It helps me, I don't feel sore anymore, or it helps to warm up my body so that I can go into activity, right? But really what they're also going to begin to feel is like, wow, like I'm actually like being helped, like healed through my shoulder doesn't hurt anymore, and I can do more with my shoulder.
Right.
That's the thrive part, right? I don't need taking away pain. Okay, that's you just surviving. You being able to have a greater quality of motion, for you to be able to have a greater degree of motion, or that's the thriving part. You being able to lift more, and that's essentially what you're trying to do,
Which I think is awesome, because so would you say that that's why you had the glutathione in there, because that's the part of the healing part?
It's one of the most powerful antioxidants to be able to do that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and I don't know that
and
a lot of people
detoxifying.
don't, and I don't know that a lot of people know that, but glutathione is like gold.
It is complete. Yeah, your body has 3 primary antioxidants, right? So glutathione peroxidase, and superoxide dismutase, right?
Yeah.
So all of these other nutrients that you take in, vitamin C, vitamin E, quercetin, resveratrol, these are called secondary antioxidants, right? And so glutathione is actually one of the antioxidants that your body primarily produces.
Yeah.
And so anytime you can have something that your body is actually producing, it's incredibly potent,
Yeah. And I just think it's amazing, because I think that there's no product that I know that has glutathione in it, and I have to tell you, like, being in the wellness industry, it's kind of, glutathione is really a major thing for healing.
Yeah.
And so I don't, people are always like, there's so many things that you can buy, you see all this stuff, but it has to be specifically formulated for it to actually work, and I don't think a lot of people even know that.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty awesome that he's got it in it, because you're able to heal instead of, like what he said, instead of survive, we get to thrive.
Which is such a game changer, because I mean, every single product we've talked about so far, the flip side of that has been the illusion of it, like the products that create the illusion of sleep, the products that create the illusion of energy and focus, whereas your products actually have CBD, which is great, but it has the additional nutritional value that promotes healing and getting to the root cause of the problem, which is more sustainable to you.
Yeah, that's a great way to say about that illusion. I think that's what I think that a lot of people, gravitate towards, because they're in that kind of space and they need it. That's way to market as well too. My whole thing is that if you don't believe in my philosophy, then you shouldn't really take my products.
Right.
Right? Because my products are the philosophy, right? They're not the ingredient, right? They're not those. Don't get romanced by the fact that I've got a cool brand, or that I've got, athletes and doctors and things like that.
Tiger Woods.
They get hopefully, bought into the fact that, like, I believe that is a proper philosophy for me. That's logical to me. That makes sense to me. I could see how that could help me. That's how you should buy various types of products, especially in the nutritional space, is that there's a lot of wonderful products out there that are formulated really well, that use a lot of great ingredients, that have great, I don't think like I'm the only person that has these things, but what separates one from the other is the fact that you believe in that person's philosophy of health, right? And then you'll feel even more excited about taking their products, and you'll have that true, wonderful effect, right?
Yeah. So this is the nerve, and I think that you should get it.